This is the video that I have been wanting to share since so long. I haven't done any YouTube or Insta lives because I have been keeping so many things and I did not know in which order I should be sharing them, how I should be sharing them. So this is when I will tell everything in detail in the order in which it happened. I can't start from why I left into it because then the video would just become way too long. So I'm going to start from what was my thought process when I left into it. How did I end up getting the interview calls? Why did I apply for particular companies? When did I get the offers? How did I get the offers? How did I compare the offers? And how did I make my final decision? So everything in detail. I hope now all the questions are answered after this video. I'm going to do lives after this, and literally after this everything is in open. So when I left into it, I was not sure what I was going to be doing. I was confused whether I should be working on my content creation full time, whether I should be working on a startup idea, whether I should apply to other companies for better opportunities, whether I should join some edtech, because I was getting a lot of opportunities, a lot of calls, join as a teacher, join as a developer, join as some XYZ position. So I did have a lot of opportunities, but I needed some time to, really think about it, be sure about what I want to do next. But after I resigned from Intuit, during my notice period itself, I got a call from Google. I got this call because I have interviewed for Google before. I know I've never shared this on any platform on YouTube or anything. So I was not able to clear it earlier, and I'm not going to talk about that process in this video, but I will talk about it later in one of the videos or maybe in one of the lives. So I got the call, and Google is a company that I would really love to work for. So then I started thinking that if the opportunity is coming, I should definitely apply for it, at least go through the process and see what's the result, whether I can clear it or not. Now, one thing I knew from my past experience, that if I interview only for Google, I'm going to be under a lot of pressure and I might not be able to perform my best. So I thought I should at least interview for one more company, which was Uber. Because according to what I had heard and read, Uber and Google pay almost equally well. Uber has a startup type of culture. It is the kind of company that I would really like to work for. Like people like Gaurav and Akshay Sani have worked there, and a lot of other reasons also. Like I would really love to work for Uber. So I thought, okay, these are the only two companies that I would apply for. But then I realized, so Uber has system design rounds, HLD and LLD. Google does not have. So Google has only DSA rounds for people till like 8-9 years of experience. So when people have like 10 years of experience or more, I think they start having their system design rounds. So for Google interviews, I would have to like focus only on DSA. But if I'm applying for Uber, I also want to do system design well. And I don't want to put pressure on myself by giving system design rounds only for Uber, because that is a company that I would really look forward to working for. So I thought, okay, I will apply for 3 companies. And the third company that I chose was Atlassian. Because I had heard great about the company. I heard the interviews are really good and challenging, and that is what I wanted. So honestly, at that time, I was looking forward to working for Google. If not Google, then Uber, and if not Uber, then Atlassian. That was my priority order, and that is what I thought that, okay, let's go for this and see how it goes. I had absolutely no plans to apply for Amazon or Microsoft. I will talk about it more in the video, that why I did that. So when I started the prep, initially I thought, I would also keep making the videos like design patterns and DSA tutorials. But as I studied, I thoroughly enjoy studying like DSA, system design, right? And I knew that this phase would never come again. Like I was enjoying it so much that I thought, okay, let this phase get over, and I would then spend more time in making videos. So somewhat during that, like say 20 days or so, I thought, let making videos take a backseat. It's okay. It's a small break. It's not like I'm stopping permanently. Still at that time, I was releasing a few videos, but it was very infrequent. So I thought, okay, let me give this a proper shot. So I made a new LeetCode profile, and I practiced the questions again from the starting, medium level, hard level. I went through my notes. I was trying to solve a lot of questions that I had done already before. Initially, yeah, I was forgetting syntaxes. I was not in touch, and I hadn't coded DSA since a very long time. So I was enjoying it so much. So I gave 3 rounds of Google. I gave all the rounds of Uber, that is DSA as well as system design rounds, and the managerial round also. And for Atlassian, I had only DSA rounds. After which my sister's wedding was there in February. So I thought, okay, this much is over. Now let the results come, because I know that Google does take a lot of time to, get back to us and to give the feedback of the interviews. So basically for like 20 days, nothing happened. Like initially 1.5 weeks, I was busy with the wedding. And after that 1 week, 10 days, I was very sick with COVID. So while I was sick, I got the offer from Uber. And that was like a huge thing for me. I thought, okay, I have cleared the thing. So I was pretty sure that I am either joining Uber or I am joining Google. But what happened when I got the Uber offer? So the offer was great. Uber pays really well, right? But based on what I had gone through on sites like Blind and Glassdoor and stuff, and I had talked to a few of my friends who had applied or who were working in Uber, so I knew that Uber does pay more than what I was being offered. So I asked them whether you can increase my salary by this much, or if you can increase one of these components. So they clearly told me that you don't have any competitive offers, and we increase these components or we give that much salary only if you have competitive offers. And I was taken back by this. I was not expecting this at all. I told them that I have already interviewed for Google. I'm yet to hear back from them. And they said, if you have documents that you have an offer from them, if it's a competitive offer, we can increase our offer. But if that's not the case, this is the best offer that we can make. And that annoyed me a bit, honestly. I talked to the HR very openly, and I told him that, you know what, you should be paying me based on my skills and not on the basis of, other competitive offers or based on my earlier salary. So their point was that we have increased our salary by a considerable amount from Intuit, which I agree, they were paying a lot. But compared to how much they usually pay, they could pay more. There were more chances for that. And they said you should have competitive offers. I actually made a LinkedIn post about it, and people had very varied opinions. But this is what happened with me. I also told the recruiter that I have applied for Google and I am yet to hear back from them. But they said that if you would have had some documents, we would consider increasing the compensation. But since you don't have any documents for now, we can't do that. So I called the Google recruiter and I told him that I need to get the feedback pretty soon, because I have offer from Uber and I need to make a decision. So what happened with one of the Google interviews was this. So I had 3 Google rounds, right? And I screwed up one of the rounds really, really bad. Actually, that question was based on random number generator and it did not hit me. I was thinking of all the data structures that could be used. I was thinking of algorithms, but I did not think that random number generator can be used. It's a very uncommon question that I had done long back. I hadn't done like while I was preparing for these sets of interviews. So it did not hit me. And I am definitely not proud of it. I was in very, very bad mood when I did that, because once I would have realized that it was a random number generator question, I would have done very well, I am sure. That day I was in such bad mood, I put it up on Insta. Then Gaurav's wife sent me waffles to cheer me up and all that happened. Yeah, I know that there can be bad interviews and we should not let one particular interview judge us. But yeah, that had happened. So coming back, I called Google recruiter and I told him, listen, I need to know my feedback. And he said, okay, Keerti, so one went really bad and the other 2 were okay. There's definitely good feedback. We are looking forward to hiring you, but we are not sure. So we would like to have another round with you. I was like, that's completely fine, but can we speed up the process? Because I already have an offer from Uber. So he asked me the details of the Uber offer. So I told him that I have an offer for L4 position and this is how much they are offering me. To which he replied that because one of your interviews went really bad, we can't offer you L4. We can offer you only L3 position. And this is the maximum salary that we can give for L3, which was considerably lesser than how much I was being offered in Uber. So he asked me clearly, Google L3 versus Uber L4, what would you join? So this was one of the decisions that I had to make. Since I was getting L4 in Uber, I was getting good compensation, the team manager was good, the work was good. The only reason why I would work for Google is the brand. Like, I really wanted, if I would work for Google, people would know that I'm a YouTuber, I'm a Googler. Now that would be a great feeling to have. But compared to being, L4 and a good software engineer and the role, I chose that, I would prefer Uber L4 than Google L3. So I was requesting Google that consider me for L4, at least for one of the roles. And things did happen over there, but I'm not going to get into the details. But eventually I did not finish the entire process of Google. My hiring packet did not reach the hiring committee, so I did not have like a final answer also. I will be honest, a part of me also wanted to tell the Google recruiter that I will take L3 position, give my packet to the hiring committee, and I want a final offer, so that I could actually say it on LinkedIn or YouTube that I cracked Google. Then I could have made another video that I cracked Google, and that would have been a huge hit, right? Then I ethically thought about it, because I knew I would not take Google L3 compared to Uber L4, and it would be ethically wrong to waste Google's time just to get the tag that I got the offer and I did not take it. I know my reach would have increased. I know it would have been a great feeling, but that was wrong, and that is why I did not do it. And honestly, when I put my videos that this interview experiences, I had a reason to apply for every company that I did. And I'm going to talk about it in this video, but it did hurt me that people randomly threw comments that she's just applying and she's wasting companies' resources and companies' time. While as a content creator and as a person who is very aware that people are looking up to me, at least a few people are, so I do try to do as much right as I can. In the end, I am human, I do make mistakes, but I try to do as right ethically as I can. And that is why I thought that, okay, I'm not going to lie to Google recruiter. I told him that I'm not going to take Google L3. If you can give me any role for Google L4, I would be more than happy to take it. But Google L3, I did not want to. As a brand value and as a YouTuber, that would have been great. But as a software engineer, as my career, it would not be great. And that is not what I would want to choose. I would want to choose right thing for my career. So Google chapter closed over here. We're not going to talk about that. I chose that I'm going to join Uber, and I signed the documents for that, and I was going ahead with it. Now, I had accepted the Uber offer. I had filled the documents and stuff. But I had this thing at the back of my mind that they said that I could have gotten a better offer if I, had competitive offers. Now, let me say again, I had applied to only 3 companies, and I was very specific. Again, when I had made the decision that I'm going to apply for these companies, I had a lot of things going on in my head. Now, I've seen posts and I've seen videos where people put that I have cracked these many companies, or I had 10 offers, or I had 11 offers. Then I have seen comments like, you're wasting companies' resources, you're wasting companies' time, you're just showing off. And I never wanted that to happen to me. So I made the decision that I'm going to apply to only selected companies. But now when Uber told me that, if I had competitive offers, they could have increased my compensation, that hit me really bad. And that is when I realized that there is nothing wrong in applying to multiple companies. There is nothing wrong in negotiating your salary. That is when I decided that I am going to apply to more companies now. Now, honestly, at that time, I was not sure which all companies will be able to give me competitive offers, because Uber already does pay a lot. So I thought that, yeah, Amazon and Microsoft do pay really well, and those are really known companies. I should apply to these companies. And that is when I messaged their recruiters that I want to apply. Now, during the same time, I got a call back from Atlassian recruiter that you gave the TSA rounds, a system design round was pending. Now, after I had gotten an offer from Uber, I had decided that I will not give the Atlassian rounds. But when I got the call back, I actually read more about Atlassian, because the interviewers in the DSA rounds actually seemed so passionate and happy about working at Atlassian. It got me very intrigued and interested. Then I read more about it. Then I realized, oh, Atlassian can also give a competitive offer. Honestly, I was not aware of that Atlassian does pay that much. So I talked to one of my seniors who is working in Atlassian, and he told that, yeah, Atlassian does pay well. It has great work-life balance. You might get a really good offer from there. So I decided I'll go ahead with the system design rounds and the managerial round of Atlassian, and I will apply to Amazon and Microsoft. That is how things happen. Since half of my Atlassian process was already over and there was already a long gap in the process, the recruiter was, trying to push the process and make it a bit fast. I already told the recruiter that I have an offer from Uber. They said okay, and I cleared the Atlassian rounds and they gave me the offer. Now, next decision that I had to make was Uber versus Atlassian. So compensation wise, what happened that I told Uber that now I have a competitive offer from Atlassian, and I told Atlassian that I have offer from Uber. So I did end up increasing both the offers a bit, and both the companies were actually giving exceptional offers, like more than what I had seen online. So both offers were pretty great in that sense. I had team manager meetings in both the cases. I liked the work in both the companies. As I had talked in both the videos, in Uber, I had a great connect with the hiring manager. And in Atlassian, I was getting an opportunity to work in sort of a new team in India, and I thought I would get a good exposure over there. So the first factor that I compared, work-wise, I was okay working in both the companies because both the companies I was getting to work on back-end side, on new tech stack, something that I would be interested in. So work-wise, I was okay in working both. In Uber, I knew that it was more of a startup-like culture. And in Atlassian, I knew it was more of a work-life balance culture. But in Uber, there is B2C. So I might, get to interact more with customers. Atlassian is B2B. So I was worried about that. But the good thing about Atlassian was that the product I would be working on was used by developers. So I would have a great connect with the product, and I felt that was a very important factor for me after working at Intuit. Because at Intuit, I never had that very close connect with the product that I wanted to have. So I saw that happening with Atlassian. So that was one of the plus points. But yeah, this was B2B, this was B2C. So I was not feeling so sure. So comparing the next factor, which is compensation. So overall, it was almost similar. Let me tell you a bit in detail. So Uber had a slightly higher base pay than Atlassian, but Atlassian had more stocks than Uber and overall a bit higher CTC. But in Atlassian, the stocks would get vested like after 1 year. Uber, the stocks would get vested continuously. So again, yeah, there was a lot of compensation. But one of the things that really stuck me, now things that I had not thought in detail, but I sat with my father and then I compared this. We compared the share growth of Uber versus Atlassian. So in last 5 years, if you see the Uber shares graph and if you see the Atlassian shares graph, Atlassian shares price has grown by 700% in last 5 years, while Uber share price has just decreased in a total of like 5 years. So this was definitely a very hard decision to make because I have said it many times that I always wanted to work at Uber. It is also a known company among software developers. At least everyone knows that it's a good company to work for. Atlassian is not that famous in any terms. As I said, even I did not know that much about Atlassian before I went through the entire process, right? So choosing Atlassian over Uber was a huge decision for me. But in the end, I thought about work-life balance, about compensation, about the stock price, about the team, and I thought about everything, and finally I chose Atlassian over Uber. So when I released the video, I cracked Uber, but I am not joining. I actually did not have final offers from Amazon or Microsoft. Microsoft actually 1 or 2 rounds were still pending. But among Uber and Atlassian, I was sure that I'm going to join Atlassian. So I uploaded the video that this is Uber experience, but I'm not joining it because I was sure that among the 2 companies, okay, I'm taking the decision of joining Atlassian. So that was it. Then I got the Amazon offer. And now I had to choose between Amazon and Atlassian. Now deciding between Atlassian and Amazon was again a huge task for me because Amazon brand-wise has a very mixed name. Like some people think that it is FANG, it is a great company to work for. While some people have the opinion that, it doesn't have good work-life balance, so it's not a good company to work for. Interestingly, I actually did polls on my Insta account when I had to make the decision. That day itself, I did polls that what do you guys think about it? And there were such mixed reviews that I was like, okay, I can't think of what people will think about Amazon. But yeah, there were a few interesting things that I heard that, being a YouTuber, if I would join Amazon, it would be like, all YouTubers join Amazon, or things like, if you want to be a good YouTuber, you should be working in Amazon, or if you work in Amazon, you will be a YouTuber. Things like that. I was hearing a lot of mixed things. And while some people were like, you will not be able to work on your YouTube that openly and that nicely if you join Amazon. So I was extremely confused about what is the right thing to do over here. So next thing that I did was that I requested Amazon Recruiter to schedule a call with one of the team members or team manager with whom I would be working, so that I can understand what kind of work I'll be doing, what sort of work-life balance will be there. Because in Amazon, yeah, it is true that some teams have terrible work-life balance and some teams have good enough work-life balance. So it's a very mixed response that I see and hear from friends as well as online experiences. So the first team member with whom I connected, actually the work was of similar domain that I had in Intuit, and I wanted a different domain for sure. Like, I was completely sure about that. So after that, I had no doubts that, yeah, I'll be joining Atlassian. So I said no to the Amazon recruiter, because compensation wise also there was not much gap. So the recruiter told me that we'll set up a call with another team. Try this team, maybe you will like the work over here, and we will increase your compensation also. So I talked to the new team. So that teamwork I really liked. I would be very interested to work in that team. But it was a new project. It was very interesting new project, and the new team was being formed. So I was like, there might be a bit competitiveness, and I was not sure about work-life balance over there. Now, that is a risk I was not sure whether I am willing to take or not. And since compensation wise, it was not much different. And already, at least I was sure that work-life balance is good, work-wise it is good, compensation-wise it was good. I decided I will go ahead with Atlassian. I said no to Amazon Recruiter, and again he got back to me with an exceptional offer. And after that, I was feeling so hard. I could not make a decision. Now that was the day when I had my final Microsoft round. And I was all over the place. I was not sure Amazon or Atlassian. It was a very difficult decision to make for me. I had discussions with multiple people. I had discussions with my friends in Amazon. I had discussions with my father. And in the end, I thought that, what are my preferences at this point in life? Like, compensation wise, I am already in 30% tax bracket, right? Even when there's a difference in salary, 30% of that is going in actually taxes. So in the end, there's only 70% difference. So does that much difference matter so much to me that I'm willing to take the risk of not having work-life balance? I also had to consider the fact that I am going to continue YouTube and I am going to make a good comeback with a bang. I want to make much more tutorials, because after going through these interviews, I feel much more confident, especially when it comes to system design rounds like HLD, LLD. I really feel I can make good, helpful content, and I can make better contribution to the community now by making better YouTube videos. So work-life balance for me was a very important factor. And also I thought, Intuit was extremely supportive in my YouTube journey. Now, Amazon won't be that supportive because it already has a lot of YouTubers. I mean, Amazon doesn't care whether you are a YouTuber or not. It's not like they're going to have any problem unless, you're following the rules, you're not talking about any confidential things. They're not going to have any problem. But I felt, Atlassian could actually be supportive of it. Like in Intuit, they were very supportive of it. And I did collaborations with Intuit people. And I thought, Atlassian is not that famous. I'll also get to, experience a company, and I can talk about the company that is not that famous but deserves to be talked about. And I also saw, Atlassian's future plans, and again, share prices, growth and stuff. So again, if you compare the shares, so Amazon share value is much more than Atlassian share value, right? Which also means the scope of improvement in Atlassian shares is more than the scope of improvement in Amazon shares. Let me explain this point. So whenever we are given RSUs, we are given in dollars, right? So the stocks that I'm going to get in Amazon, their value might not increase that much as Atlassian's would increase, right? So overall compensation wise, it won't make that much of a difference. So I thought, let me join a company that I will be sure of. I would not have taken any risk. So I made the decision of joining Atlassian over Amazon. Actually, interestingly, let me tell you that before I got the last call where the recruiter told me that I'll give you a better compensation, I had actually already recorded the Amazon video that I cracked it, and I had recorded two endings to it. One was that I'm joining, and one was that I'm not joining. I had recorded both of them. Now, while editing, I edited that okay, I am not joining Amazon. I was going to upload the video like 5 minutes before making it live. I got the call that I will give you a better offer. Think about it. Then again, I was confused. I thought for 2-3 days. I put the Insta post and everything happened. Then the day I made it final that okay, I am not joining Amazon. I released the video. I made it live that okay, I'm not joining Amazon. But I actually have that other ending also recorded that yeah, I have joined Amazon. That's one of the interesting things that happened. So now 99.999% I was sure that I am joining Atlassian. But I had already gone through all the Microsoft rounds. They were actually taking a lot of time to give me the offer. Like after the rounds, I kept telling them that, I already have 3 offers. Please at least tell me rough numbers so that I can make a decision. So when the HR called me, she clearly told me that you have better offers. We can't give you anything close to that. But we can arrange meetings with team members, team managers, and you can see if you want to join. Now, by this time, honestly, I was just tired of making decisions. Like first Uber versus Atlassian, then Amazon versus Atlassian, then initially Google versus Uber. I was done with making decisions like at this point in time. So I was like, I'm very happy with Atlassian's offer and I'm really excited to work over there. And since you yourself said the compensation is quite less, now if I would have negotiated with Microsoft, she herself said that you first see the team. If you like it, we can increase the compensation. We can always negotiate and we can always increase the offer. But I did not want to waste company's resources anymore because I felt more inclined and more connected towards Atlassian. I wanted to give it a chance. And I thought I can always work at Microsoft and all later. I can always interview again. So I thought, okay, let's go ahead with Atlassian. I did not have meeting with team manager or team members in Microsoft. I did not take any more of their time. I was inclined towards Atlassian. So yes, this was my entire story. I was as honest as I could. I literally opened my heart out. I want to share everything with you guys, and I always wanted to, but I did not know how and in what order, in what sequence I should because I was not sure. I was making the decisions as I was releasing the videos. Now I know it's very easy to judge that, I interviewed for so many companies, but I think I've given good enough reasons and I have shared my thought process with you. Now, some of you might agree with the thought process, some of you might not. It's fine. These are the decisions that I took, and I am proud of the decisions that I took. And I think I took as ethically right decisions as was possible for me. Honestly, I feel extremely light. Finally, everything is off my mind, everything is out there. Now I can answer all the questions openly. I can do Insta and YouTube lives and I can answer everything because I used to really hate it when people are asking again and again, where are you joining? Where are you joining? And I myself don't know where are you joining. It used to be really fun. People used to just keep making guesses in comments that we hope you have cracked Google or we hope that, you are going abroad. Now, I know people say that I was showing off that I have cracked so many interviews. But if you think about it, the one interview that I really wanted to crack, the one company that I really wanted to join, Google, I did not clear the entire process through it. I did not finish the entire process. So yeah, things happen or things were very different than how I had anticipated. When I resigned from Intuit, I was not sure. But today I am much more pumped up and I feel very positive. I'm really looking forward to working in Atlassian. I'm really looking forward to making much more and positive content in YouTube. I hope I can add much more value because I do feel much more confident about system design also. I think I can make more valuable content now. Please do tell me in the comments what you think about the entire video. Tell me your honest opinions. I would really look forward to hear from you guys. And if you like my content, if you like the work that I am doing, please do like, share and subscribe. You have no idea how much it would mean to me. Thank you so much.